Hello there. This is going to be a guide on how to get Japanese games to English. Now then, this is more of a ramble in a way. I have a bunch of cliff notes I want to be going through, but it's not completely structured. If I start rambling, sorry about that. I'm just not very good at following a script. So to start off, I'll talk about the older methods. Well, older, but there's different methods. So if you are playing on PC, like novel games or RPGs, it's typically a lot better to use the text extractor GitHub. If you want to use that instead, it's usually more direct. Another older way was to use a translator, a text extractor, but more literally, you would take the text, translate it, and then insert from there, I believe. And then the other way that people could have done it was to translate through an Android emulator, so they would get BlueStacks or something else like that. Things LG player, LD player, something like that. Then you would record the screen, but that wasn't very good. And from my experience, and the method I have here, in my opinion, is the most easiest way to get things going. And it works for emulators as well, not just for visual novels like Text Extractor does. I've been told it can work, but not a lot of testing has been done on it. So first, what you're going to do is going to go to this website, Code Dojo. This is a link that'll be in the description. It's pretty extensive how much stuff is on here, but you're gonna have some prerequisites you're gonna get though. So first, you're gonna need the Google Vision API key. This is kind of annoying to get, and does require you to get a credit card or debit card, similar to the other API we need. So just keep that in mind. There's no way to get it without it. This is very good instructions to getting the Google Cloud Vision API. I'll be leaving this in the description. The other one you need is from DeepL. Technically not needed, but you really do want it. It's way more accurate, and that's obviously what we're looking for. It allows you to get the API from that, but as I said, you do need to get a credit card to the account, so that way it's not abused, basically. And then lastly, you want to download it. He already has a downloaded, or yeah, let's go here, download it, and extract it somewhere. It is open source, so if you do know how to compile it, then you're more than welcome to do that. Okay. So, let's go a little more detail about Google Translate and DeepL. They're both translation apps. You do need Google Translate's API regardless if you're using DeepL or not, but DeepL is technically optional. DeepL is a better translation API to the accuracy, so like you really do want DeepL. No real reason not to get it. Compared to Google Translate, it's just more accurate. Of course, a actual translation done by people and like a ROM hack is going to be the most authentic way to play the game, but not every game has one, so you're kind of just left in the dust from there, huh? So remember, gotta get these APIs, and you need to get the key. Make sure you save the key. Do not share the key as well with other people. You really want to use your own keys. Another small thing to take note of is that DeepL, I believe, allows for about 500k words or characters before they start charging you 500k a month. Google Translate has less. I forget the exact number, but I do remember it's being a lot less. So keep that in mind. Unless like you're really playing visual novels like day in and day out, or playing Jrpgs day in and day out, then you shouldn't really worry too much about it. But just to let you know, to keep that in mind, that is something that may happen to you if you overuse it. Okay, So now then, you're gonna extract the program that you got from here. You want to extract it to any folder, it doesn't matter too much. And you're gonna find a file called config_template.txt. You're simply just going to rename that to config.txt, and then you're gonna open it. Alright, new take. We have some issues with the last one. So when you open this up, it's going to have a bunch of text and a bunch of semicolons. The semicolons means that what's being written ahead is going to be comments, so you should be reading those along with hearing me explain some of them. And the first thing is going to tell you that this file has to be renamed config.txt. When it comes in as the folder it's into the file they download, it's going to be called config_template.txt. Make sure you just change it to config.txt. So it's going to first steps here is going to tell you that you need to get the CloudVision API key, which is what you get from going here to this website. Very important that you get that. You need it. It's going to ask you for a credit card. You just have to fill one in, and no, there's no way to get a key with that one, so sorry about that. You don't have to actually pay for any services. You just have to have some payment information there. This is done to prevent spam. This is also going to be done for DPL as well. So you're going to need to get that. You also need to enable text-to-speech API so it can talk if you're using the text-to-speech API itself. I personally never use it, so in my opinion you don't need it, but if you do want it, then you have to enable it by following this link. So this is where you're going to put your Google API key. I remember it asks you from the CloudVision API. You just copy and paste it here, no quotes, no nothing, just copy, paste it here. Optionally, DeepL API key. Remember what I said about DeepL? Very nice to have, more accurate. You want that as well. You want to paste yours in this section as well. I deleted mine, obviously. You don't want to share this with anybody. You want to. This is your own personal key, so only use your own. Do not use other people's. Now, if you are using DeepL, which I recommend, then you will have to choose if you're using the free API, which you have to pay for after 500,000 characters or words, can't remember, or if you're using the paid version. I'm using the free version, so I put the free version URL here. Change it to however you need it. So this is going to be the section of if you want to change your translation engine. I have DeepL, so you should do that. But if you do not want to use DeepL, you just want to use Google Translate, then you will put in Google Translate. So you type in either Google or DeepL. I have DeepL. So this is a big thing, and it basically boils down to, are you using desktop for emulator usage or PC game usage, or are you using it for capturing the graphic here? So if you're using the camera, it's going to be like this, where you have a game console and you have a capture card going through it. If you're not using it, then you don't have to worry about it. Just keep it as desktop, which is what I have. If you're using the camera, then uncheck this and then put a colon like that. But I will not do that. This is a if you're using the camera. Once again, for this setup, I don't leave it at 0. Audio device, leave it default unless you have a specific audio source you want to change it to. But this is more specific. You just leave it as that. Check for update on startup. Always have this on enabled. There's zero reason to leave this off unless you. Yeah, I can't really think of a reason. Just that should be enabled. It should be by default. So this section here, this is basically saying if you want to keep any of the things you're translating. So I have both of these disabled. The log capture text to file is anything that is a text any text that you translate can be put to a file. I personally don't need that, so I have that off. And then the clipboard, that's your copy. Whenever you have something copied and then you want to paste it, what's in there to paste is the clipboard. I also have it disabled because I don't think it's necessary. So this here is for translating other languages. I expect most people are going to be either in Korean, French, or Japanese. But if you have something specific, then you want to follow this website and add it in here. But this is a pretty good selection as is. You want this to auto. This is just saying so if it can read it or not, just keep it as auto. So Google Camera allows you to put in text detection or document text detection for the OCR phase. You want to have document text detection. If you use DeepL, you should have it. Sometimes they can lump up things together when it should be separate, in which case text detection is better. But I think generally speaking, you always want this on. So these next few parts is for vertical text. I don't really run too many games or just games where you need it, but if you visit websites, remember this isn't just for games, we use for websites, any Japanese text or foreign language text, but I don't really use any of those sites personally, so I don't have this in use. I have these are just the regular default ones, but if you have something specific that you want to start changing it to, then you are free to do that. So when you are uploading images to Google or DeepL, it's going to send a screenshot over to translate, and then it's gonna put that text on the screen. I put it at 100 for the best quality, which means you have the best chance of getting all the text like perfectly there. But if it's taking too long, in your opinion, then you can go down lower. But in my opinion, you should probably be at 100. So this is the audio section, which is used to play sounds. Usually I'm playing, basically if you're using text-to-speech, then you can mess with this. I don't, so I just leave it as Fmod, and Fmod seems to be more compatible according to this text, so I'll just leave it as is. So this is the most important part that you have to take note of, the control section. If you want to use this, you have to use hotkeys. So it says Control Alt Shift F12. That's just an example in the comment section. And you have to physically press all those buttons. The default ones are Control and then a function key. Active window is whatever window is currently selected. So this notepad currently is the active window. Now this is the active window. So that's usually the one you want to use most often, just because that's the one stuff that you're reading currently. The whole desktop is just the whole thing from your screen, but it has to be the one that you're currently selected on. So basically an active window, but your whole desktop. And then the last one, draggable area, that is a specific section that you want to do. But if you want to use a controller, yeah, you can set a key to do that. However, the controller only works for input compatible devices, so Xbox 360, One, or generic Xbox controllers, PC controllers. Maybe a way to configure a PS to be used through like X input. I don't own a PlayStation controller, so I can't verify that, but it might be something that you can try experimenting with. So you're going to this is going to be a list of things that you can assign it to. So I use right joystick button. I believe that's default. Works best for me in most cases. It's going to be R3, so the right thumbstick when you press down, that's what's going to activate this whole thing. I find that's the most convenient, but if you think something else might be better, then you are more than welcome to do it. So the kanji here, you can leave this as default unless you have a specific website you want to change it to. the audio speech options, this is for if you want to use text-to-speech. I don't care for text-to-speech, so I just use the default ones. Camera mode options, all this here is for if you're using this setup here. I'm choosing desktop, so you can leave that on as default. Okay, so now that you have finished setting up everything here, you're gonna go back into your translation folder, and you're going to open up UTG.exe. It's going to open up with this screen here. It's going to tell you all the hotkeys that you have assigned it to. So you can see it's working with my right joystick button on the gamepad, and it'll just tell you everything you need here. So, automatically speak dialogue, text to speech. Those two I don't care too much about. I personally have disable capture sound. I usually checked it along with invisible mode. That way it looks a bit less ugly when you do it. But you're welcome to mess around with these settings as you see. But once you are done, okay, minimize and listen for hotkeys. So now, this means that anytime you press the hotkey to start scanning things, it's gonna work. So I have Dolphin open, and we're gonna try out 2 games as a test. So the first one is going to be the puzzle collection. So you see the text here is all Japanese. So you can see the translation done here. It's going to pause the game, but the game itself is still running, so keep that in mind. So you can see, play alone, play with 2 people, 2-player mode, play with others. That's going to be a 4-player mode. Options, this is just a funny error going on. And description for play alone, it's a play mode. Remember, it's not perfect. A actual translation is going to be way more accurate than this is going to ever be. However, this is certainly a really good start to something. And if we go down one, together, it's a play mode. Still giving the error of the ends, but didn't do this part. So we can see that it is working. And then we go ahead and test this one out. R3. Loop on a third. Treasures lost to the sea. Lost treasure under the sea. Start from the beginning. Load option. Monkey punch. Yada yada yada. So options. Sometimes translations like this, it's not quite correct. See, 3 elimination dispel secret treasure. I mean, that's kind of right, but obviously it's not. And then less cattle 1-8 less than. That's also not quite right. But the important part here is sound settings. That's right. Vibration settings and font settings. So then we will go ahead and show off the FMV and also help explain what I mean by the game still goes on, even though the screen itself has been paused. That was fast. Did it work? Specific names are going to have issues. So for example, Jigen is trying to say Dasuke, but it's just like dimensions. That's just the effect of translation. But the hell is this? That is still right. Yes, that's it. We come all the way to Greece. For such an opposing thing, I can't see. Dimensions. Pick your friends. This son of a bitch put a hole in the barrel of the gun. Dolphin doesn't like being recorded usually. Looks like we're not the only ones who are after this guy. I told you that's a great treasure. So how's that awesome? So you can see it's working. It's not perfect, but you are going to generally understand what text is being displayed on the screen. And it's not just for Dolphin, obviously. I'm just using it as an example. It could be any video novel game, any website. Just keep in mind that older systems, so anything below the Super Nintendo, it has issues just because the text is just so small and thin that it just can't really read it properly. However, bigger fonts like this, it shows up a lot better. And that is it for my tutorial. Hopefully it has helped you.